I'm going to show you two concepts. Showed these many times. And this will probably help you. And this is paradigm stuff. There's you. Okay? The mind and the body. There's your senses. Now, there's a power flowing to and through you. It never stops. It never stops. It has no direction, no form. As it flows in, we give it direction. It is a clear, unadulterated, creative power that's flowing to and through us. As it flows into our consciousness, we can build images. That's what Scott Edwards did over in Manchester. He built an image that he was going to work with me. Now, I'm so glad he did. But that's the image he built. Well, you see, we build images, and you'll sit down with people if you're managing. And you must understand management is the development of people. That's what management is. Most people think management's the direction of things. That's not it at all. The direction of this and that. No. Management is the development of people. Well, if we're going to develop people, we have to get them to build images in their mind and understand what they're doing. Then they have to impress that image upon their subjective mind. Now, that's where the paradigm is. So what happens? Well, here's what happens. They move into action and they get results. However, the images fixed in their subconscious mind control the vibration that they're in, and the vibration controls what they attract. Your results are not what you imagined. Why? Why? I'm doing everything they said. I'm doing it exactly the way. Well, here's the problem here. See, the paradigm must be altered or your new image never going to move into form. You've got to alter the paradigm. So do you see, when we say we're going to do something, let's clearly understand if we're really going to improve what we're doing, we're going to have to change something inside. Because the paradigm's controlling what we do. And if we're going to do something that gets a much better result, we've got to realize the enemy is in the paradigm. This is not kid stuff. This is the real deal. You may have a child that's failing in mathematics. Yet they're told to study this book, they're told to do these exercises, but they keep failing. Their problem has nothing to do with mathematics. It only appears to have something to do with mathematics. You know what their problem is? It's in their self-image. It's in their programming. What you should really do is take that little child when they lay down at night, put your hands on them, make a physical connection, and then talk to them. Say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm getting excellent marks in mathematics. And you keep doing this every night, and you let them get emotionally involved. Now, you're going to be emotionally involved. You've got to see this happening. You keep doing this. Do you know if you did that for 2 or 3 weeks, their marks would start to improve? They got an idea in their subconscious mind where they're no good in mathematics. They've been taught the same thing as the kid that's getting aces in mathematics. But the self-image won't permit it to come out. The self-image is controlling them. Okay? Now, this is the way most people live and work. This could be a kid in school, or it could be somebody at work, it could be somebody in a sales organization. I learned a long time ago, I'll call on a company and I'll get talking to the top person. And I'll say, listen, you have a group of salespeople. I want you to think of 2. Just tell me their first name. Let's say Bill and Betty. And I said, you know, this is January. You can tell me now, if they've worked here for a while, what their sales are going to be like in July and August. And it's only January. But you know what their sales are going to be like in July and August. And they'll look at me and they'll say, well, how would I know that? I said, you do know it. I was just going to memory. You can predict where your sales are going to be in July and August. You see, most of the salespeople don't change. They don't. Maybe one will. They might spike and then right back down again. People are predictable. They're very predictable because they don't understand paradigms. And so they don't understand paradigms. It's not that they don't want to do better. And some of them do, but the ones that do are few in number. Now keep thinking. Here is a person. We're talking about paradigms here. There's a section on paradigms. I want you to read it often. Read this whole binder often. So here we are here. There's the mind. There's the senses. You're picking it up from outside. Now this power is flowing to and through us. And we build an image. But let's understand, let's clearly understand. When we built that image, there is a paradigm. It's in every molecule of our being. That's not in harmony with that image. When you go to impress that image, it's going to cause discomfort. I was talking to Mark earlier this morning, right here in the front. I said, what are you getting at? He said, well, one thing you mean? I said, well, no, not necessarily. He said, probably the terror barrier. I said, listen, you want to resign yourself to the fact that you're going to have terror barriers for the rest of your life. If you don't have a terror barrier, that means you're going sideways. The terror barrier is when you're going to go where you've never been. Okay? And you want to be always going where you've never been. So if you're not scared, you're not going anywhere. So you got to deal with the fear because you understand what's causing it. You know, face the thing in fear and fear will leave you. Well, you know that the paradigm's there, and if you impress that, it's going to cause a lot of discomfort if you get emotionally involved. But you got to get emotionally involved. Just to write it down and repeat it ain't going to cut it. When you impress it, you've got to override the paradigm. You've got to get emotionally involved with this new image. You've got to see it happening. Now, you've got to have an accountability partner that has never been here. They don't know me from anybody. But they're nice people and they've got a lot of respect for you and you think they'd be a good person to have as my accountability partner. No, they wouldn't. You get somebody that understands this and you're not going to whistle them. I mean, they're going to understand and they're going to hold your feet to the fire, believe me. You know, when Phil calls, I don't let him off the hook. I said, no, this is what you got to do. I know it sounds silly, Phil, do it anyway. Okay? See, when you get emotionally involved with the image, then your body changes the vibration it's in. You got to plant this new image with emotion. That changes the vibration that the body's in. It'll change the behavior, but it also changes what you attract. The image you impress upon the subconscious controls your vibration, yet the vibration controls what you attract. See, it dictates the frequency you're on. You can only attract what's on the frequency. If you dial someone's number, you're not going to get me. You got to dial my number to get me. If I don't dial your number, I'm not going to get you. This is very important. See, when The Secret came out, everybody and his sister was writing books on attraction. I talked to a lady that wrote a book. She said, I saw that. She's an idiot. I said, do you really understand it? Well, she says, no, I don't think so. You see? And she was being honest. And she really didn't. The Secret caused all kinds of books on attraction. There's very few people really understand it in depth. You see, the law of attraction is a secondary law. It's not a primary law. It's a secondary law. The primary law is the law of vibration. If you don't understand the law of vibration, there's no way you could understand the law of attraction, because the law of attraction is a secondary law, and it's based on the primary law, which is vibration. If you're not on the frequency of the good that you require or you want, you're not going to attract it. You just won't. See, the good you desire, the things and the people that you need to get to where you want to go, they're already here. Everything's already here. Now listen. To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm. This is very, very important. Those of you who are in management, I believe your major responsibility is to teach paradigms to them. Those of you who are parents, that's your responsibility to teach it to the kids. And I'm going to tell you something, you can teach it to little kids. Forget their kids. I'm constantly asked by people, how do you teach this to kids? The same as you teach it to your next door neighbor. Forget their kids. There's only one mind. Now, the only thing you have to keep in mind when you're dealing with a small child at a young age is what they lack is experience and vocabulary. Today, they probably have a pretty good vocabulary at a very early age, but that's the only thing they lack. So the word you use, make sure that they understand. Words are symbols, and every symbol is a corresponding image. So you want to choose words that brings the images. And they lack the experience, so you got to take that into consideration. Other than that, teach it to the same as you teach an adult. And they'll get it. As Anders was saying, frequently a lot faster than the adult. They haven't got all this nonsense running around their head. Now, I want you, back up. We're not going to critical choice right now. If you look at the section on paradigms, there's a couple of pages here. There's one, I suppose this is so fresh in my mind because God knows I sure heard it enough when I was a kid. Bob, why'd you do that? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You know better. I know. Why'd you do it? I don't know. I heard that every day, not once. Multiple times, every day. The people that were raising me must have honestly believed if they said it, it was planted in my subconscious mind, and I'd automatically do it from then on. If they said it, it came into my conscious mind. It was stored there, but it had nothing to do with my behavior. It was just something I knew. That's what's happening to people graduating from school. They get all this knowledge in their consciousness, but it's not in their subconscious, so they're not doing it. Do they know better? Yeah. Are they doing it? No. There's a number of network marketers here. Don't talk to them about a pin until you start to understand, until they start to understand the paradigm. And then help them understand one or two things. Like that thing with Prudential. 9 a.m., $100,000 sale. Just ask them to buy. You don't even have to sell them. Paul Hutsey from over in Kansas, he's a retired VP. He said he figured we caused the sales to go up over $1 billion. It was hundreds of millions. It was just shocking. They actually sent people, top people, mind people like psychologists, out of New Jersey, their head office, to study what we were doing. One dingbat went back and said, I know what we want to do. We want to transcribe what this guy's doing, get a couple of actors from Northwestern and send them out to teach it. I said, boy, he really didn't know. Listen, if you just get this basic concept about paradigms, if you're managing or your kids, help them understand it, I guarantee you they'll make giant jump ahead. They will. Now, saying to the kid, you should know better. Well, the kid does know better, but that doesn't mean the paradigm is better. So the section on paradigm, if you got people you're managing, you might copy these pages and give it to them and sit down and really explain it to them. A little drawing on page 81, I've already mentioned, that's the most valuable idea I've ever learned, okay? Now I want you to go over to where I am now. And if we're going to be successful setting and reaching goals, there's certain piece of information that we must have. Information that's absolutely essential for us to get to where we're going. We must know where we are. I want you to imagine that you've bailed out of a plane and you've landed. You know you're somewhere in North America, but you have no idea where. Now, it's overcast, so you can't go by the stars. There's no street signs, there's no one, and you don't have a compass. Your objective is to get to LA. Which way would you start walking? See, it wouldn't really make much difference because you don't know where you are. If you don't know where you are, it doesn't matter where you're going. You've got to know where you are. We've got to take an honest look. Now, this isn't beating ourselves up or anything. It's taking a look at where we are. How do we start our day? How do we start our day? What are we doing? Now, we may say this isn't important. It's vitally important. You want to make sure that you get your mind into a very good vibration the second you wake up. How can you do that? Now, I don't know when I started to do this, but it's a long time ago. I got an idea in my mind. When I wake up, I get up. When I wake up, I get up. I'm usually up around 5. But when I wake up, I get up. I do not lay there. I don't hug the pillow and think, hit snooze. When I wake up, I get up. I study every morning. Every morning. Solomon said, in all you're getting, get understanding. There's only one way to get understanding, and that's through study. There is no other way. No other way. Now, there's many forms of study, but you got to study. Now, since we're dealing with infinite source of supply, you're dealing with infinite knowledge. It's like saying, how much knowledge is there? I remember one time I talked to somebody, I don't know, they knew something about space and rockets and everything. I said, when they fire those rockets, how far do they go? He said, they just keep going. I said, how far? Oh, they just keep going. I don't know if I understand that yet, but I just see it just keeps going, just keeps going. That's how much knowledge there is. Infinite. Infinite. So you see, we could be the smartest cat in town and really get great results. We're not doing anything relative to what we're capable of doing. That to me is one of the most exciting ideas you could explore. There's no end to what we're capable of doing. No end to it. Cynthia Kersey said, her work is every child gets an opportunity for an education. Every child in the world. That's a big goal. She knows that. But she also understands this. Don't monkey around with this. Don't monkey around. This is your life you're dealing with. And so far as we know, we're only getting one bite at the apple.
I hope you enjoyed this video. We put a lot of good information up here, and it causes everything in your life to get better. If you'd like us to notify you every time we put a new video up, hit subscribe and then turn on notification. Check out all our videos, and we will notify you when we put a new one up.